Hi, and welcome back. I'm Christina Santiago, and you're watching The Magic of Giving. Today's show features Project Vet Relief. We've been discussing the history and overall goals of the organization. Now let's talk about the various programs offered and how Project Vet Relief serves the community. With me today is Jeffrey Kelly, Staff Sergeant retired, and Jessica Flynn, the Director of Foundation Relations. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for being with us today. So Jeff, I just want to say thank you so much for serving our country. Thank you so much for what you've done. When did you serve in the military?
I joined in December of '99 while I was still in high school. Left for basic training a week after I graduated in 2000 and basically started my career from there.
And you were in, what branch of the military were you
I was in the Army.
In the Army,
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And where did you travel
I
throughout
was
your time?
all over. I mean, Fort Stewart, Georgia, Fort Benning, Fort Jackson, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. There was one in Maryland. So, and that was just stateside. So there was quite a few of them.
Right. Did you find that going into the military right after high school matured you quickly?
Well, yeah, it kind of forced you into the maturity level. I mean, I turned 18 in basic training, so you were kind of forced to not have the little party side and all that kind of stuff. So, turned 21 when I was in Iraq for the first time. So, all the major birthdays were taken up by fun stuff with the military.
Right. And how many years did you serve again?
I did 11 and a half years.
11 and a half years. And what were some of the best moments?
When I graduated basic training,
I bet.
One of my best memories though is my oldest daughter Jade promoted me to E6, and my dad was holding her and she got to put the rank on and stuff like that. So that was one of the proudest moments, and the main like pinnacle of my career, I guess you could say, is I was inducted in the Audie Murphy Club in 2007.
Can you explain? What is it?
It's for 1% of NCOs make it into the Audie Murphy Club in the Army. So it's an elite club of leaders.
That's great. What was one of your worst moments in the military?
The day that they told me they were kicking me out. It was 2009, after my third tour in Iraq, after I had gotten hurt and everything. On my birthday in 2009, they told me they were gonna retire me, that they weren't gonna hold me in service anymore. So that was a pretty big blow.
That must have been a hard day for you.
Oh, it was very hard. It was a long emotional day because I'd been in for 11 years. I was in E6, planning on being in the rest of my life, basically. And to find out that everything that I had done throughout my adult life was gonna end.
Can you explain the transition process from, being told on that day that you had to leave the military and then your transition out into civilian life? What was the transition like?
It was crazy. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, you have a passion for what you do, and then all of a sudden you can't do it anymore. And it took until 2011 until I was retired. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we had no place to go. I had 2 kids, a wife, and was kind of stuck. Wasn't making the money that I was, and all that kind of stuff. And we knew we were coming back to Florida, but didn't really know what we were gonna do, where we were gonna go. And thankfully, we moved in with my parents. We were living there were 7 people in a 3-bedroom house, 2 separate families trying to coexist. And it was a struggle for my family, for my parents, and everything. And it was it was a tough transition. Because I mean, I was 25 and trying to figure out what we were going to do, where we were going to go, trying to get on our feet to figure out what we could afford, if we could live on our own, all that sort of things.
Can you explain how Project Vet Relief helped you and your family?
I met them probably in July of this year, and spoke with them. I was going into the hospital August 1st for surgery, and I wanted my kids and family close to me. The surgery was done in Tampa, and although it's only an hour and a half away, it's a tough drive with kids and things like that. And Project Vet Relief stepped in and helped cover the food costs for my family so that they could stay close, to help with the financial burden of not being at home, not having your groceries and all of that. And it was a huge relief for me, knowing that I'm in the hospital, there's nothing I could do to help, but knowing that they were taken care of. That was just a huge blessing.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Before we leave this segment, can you please explain to any veterans out there that might be in a similar situation what they can do to receive help? What's the next step?
All you have to do is basically the toughest thing for a veteran to do is ask. You have to be willing to go that step and admit that you need help. And it's not a pride thing. You're not going to lose any pride admitting that you need help. The thing is, you just need to ask.
Okay, so how can do they just call, or how would they reach out for help?
Absolutely. So, Jeff has an incredible story, and the bravery that he has shown serving our country, going through the trials that he has gone through, and then asking for help. That's a lot of bravery. And we would encourage other veterans that are in similar situations to absolutely reach out for help. And the way they can do that is by contacting the American Legion Department of Florida and asking for Project Vet Relief. We have a website that will be launched soon. November 1st is our official launch date, but everyone can reach us through the department and through the website eventually as well.
Okay, and we're definitely going to touch more on the website in the third segment. Jeff, thank you so much again for serving our country, and thank you for sharing your story with our viewers. And thank you both for being on this segment. And now it's time for a short break. Thank you so much for being with us today, and when we return, we'll find out how you can help make Project Vet Relief a success. We'll be back soon. Thank you so much, you guys.